Hey everyone, this is Mark Treichel. It is December 1st. Hard to believe we've already hit the month of December here in the year of 2022. This is a quick take or a short take, and I just saw something on LinkedIn that NCUA posted that triggered me to want to get a little bit of information out on this. And the post reads from NCUA, by notation vote, the NCUA board approved moving management and oversight of the Asset Management and Assistance Center, AMAC, activities from the Southern region to an independent office led by the president of AMAC. The NCUA board also approved by notation vote the transfer of examination and supervision responsibilities for the state of Ohio from the Eastern region to the Southern region. 17 full-time employees will transfer from the Eastern region to the Southern region to support the realignment. Both actions are effective January 1, 2023. All right, so what does this mean for credit unions? On the AMAC piece, it really doesn't mean much. I can tell you that I was the executive director when we combined AMAC into the Southern region, led by Keith Morton at that point in time. And when we did that, it was the best possible option because there was much discussion at the board level about taking AMAC and moving it to the central office, which I thought was an extremely bad idea because most of the people would have either retired or left NCUA, and there was all sorts of corporate knowledge that would have been lost in AMAC had we done what at least one board member wanted to do and wanted us to fully vet out back at that time, which was centralizing that activity into the central office. And that would have been bad for credit unions, bad for NCUA in particular, because the taxi medallion crisis was going on at that time, and AMAC was forefront and taking the lead on resolving that for NCUA. To have half the staff leave would have increased the loss to the insurance fund, in my opinion, quite dramatically. So the fact that they are unwinding a move that we made as a defensive move so that we could keep it in AMAC, and because we knew that the leadership in that region had the ability to do both jobs, even though it was a little bit more taxing than was optimal. The fact that NCUA is unwinding that, I think, is a good thing. And now they're positioned to still be based out of Austin, Texas, which is where they've always been. I know that they recently announced the position of the president of AMAC, and it'll be a selection that maybe we'll hear about relatively soon. Internally, I know there's probably some really good candidates that hopefully will get that position. All right, so the second item is the transferring of the state of Ohio from the Eastern region, which is based in Alexandria, Virginia, to the Southern region, again, based in Austin, Texas. So back when we did the realignment, again, I was the executive director that closed the Albany office and closed the Atlanta office when we went down from 5 regions to 3 regions. The reality was we knew at some juncture we were going to have to reallocate because the Eastern region has more small credit unions and more credit unions in number and more staff. But as mergers happen naturally over time, it was going to make sense to take a state or two and move them over. So this is really something that was anticipated back at the time in 2017 or 2018 when we did the realignment. And really, as a credit union, if you happen to be in Ohio, there really should be no impact for you because you will still have the same examiners. Those 17 people are transferring from the Eastern region to the Southern region, and they will still typically have the same supervisory examiner. You'll just be reporting and sending, if you have an exam response or something, you'll just be sending those and being watched from Austin instead of Alexandria. And the other thing these two things do is it positions NCUA for making some budget decisions that are coming up, hopefully in 2 weeks. The NCUA board meeting is, I believe, 2 weeks from this Thursday, where they will approve the budget. And this makes the accounting easier because they can put those assets in the right bucket so that the dollars go to the right region, and then they can recreate AMAC as its own budget center. So my guess is that's why they did it by notation vote. The reality is, and I've talked about this in some other podcasts, but a notation vote is something the board decides is so timely that they need to vote on it and not do it at a public board meeting. But any of the 3 board members can veto it and require it to go to a full board meeting. And, so the fact was all three board members says, yep, this is routine and it's somewhat urgent, so that we could probably get the budget lined up is probably what I'm thinking that they are thinking. All right, that's it. Again, December 1, going to get this podcast up so you can hear it almost real time. And I've got some other exciting things coming down in future podcasts that I can't wait to share with you. But I'll leave it at that. Have a great first day of December. This is Mark Treichel signing off with flying colors.